Hey, I'm making a video on my computer instead just because. Um, tomorrow's April 1st. Tomorrow's April 1st, and I've just been studying my heart out last, well, last several years, but the last year of my life has been very, very much, I've given it, I've given it to God. And I know there's plenty of people who look at me and see the stuff I'm doing and think, well, that's crazy. That can't be of God. Sounds familiar? Like a lot of other people that I've studied in my life who've had lives where they've been ridiculed and um, had lots of loneliness because of the message they were spreading and sharing was unpopular and uncomfortable to people. So that's kind of the position I've found myself in life, and I'm okay with that because I know I'm doing what I am called to do, and that's all that matters to me. I do find it interesting that I seem to hear from a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people who have been telling me that they feel like they're called of God too, to speak out on whatever, on a topic that is important to them that they feel called to do. And it makes me wonder because and it's my belief that these are the last days before Jesus Christ comes again. And things are just going to get really heightened. Good is going to get more good, bad is going to get way bad. And there are going to be miracles all over the place by regular people. And regular people, no one's really regular. We're all special and we all have callings, and we're all designed to do amazing things. And I just wonder sometimes how many other people right now are feeling that calling from God but are too afraid to say anything, too afraid to do what they feel like they're being prompted to do because for fear of their job, for fear of their losing friends, losing family, losing reputation. Totally get it. Totally get it. It's not easy. But I can testify that doing what I feel I'm called to do and what is right, I've been blessed like crazy. And the amount of people that have come to me and thanked me and had their eyes opened because of me speaking out, it's everything. It's everything. Because this isn't about vaccines. That's a small part of this whole agenda. And if you haven't looked into the whole, oh man, New World Order, that's like here. It's here. It's right now. If you've still got your head buried, I don't know what to tell you at this point. I just don't even know what to say. Um, but the thing is, okay, so I had a friend that made a really good comment, and I just wanted to basically read what she said because it's like, whoa, light bulb moment for me. Because honestly, I have just been struggling the last week or so because of being disappointed and sad and sorry for people in my life who I would have thought would react differently and care more about, agency and the choices that we have. Like, why are we here in this life if we're not here to make our own choices? So it's been disappointing, to say the least. And I just ugly bawled last night to my husband. By the way, I hit myself with a hammer yesterday, so I'm a little bloody. Yeah, I just bawled. And I just got the impression that all I can do at this point is pray. Pray for the people in my life that I love, for everybody, really, and that I care about, that they'll open their eyes up and realize that everything that's going on affects them. And it's time for the brave and the strong and the courageous to stand up and to speak out. It's past time. So my friend said this, and it's like Of course, I know that. We all know this, that all truth is of God, all of it. He wants us to proclaim the truth and warn our neighbors. All of the hidden acts of darkness, Gadianton robbers, conspiring men. This is not something that is just sort of in movies. This is real. Man, that bloody spot really is ugly. No, it's fine. It's beautiful because I'm beautiful. All the hidden acts of darkness will come out into the light. They really will. And almost everyone I know knows that. But how? How do you think God's going to do that? Why do you think he's inspiring people like me to put myself out there and be probably obnoxious sometimes? But I try to say things in the kindest way that I possibly can. But why do you think I'm getting all these inspirational thoughts constantly? Like, I can barely go to sleep at night because I'm constantly like, ooh, I gotta write that down. I gotta write that down. I'm just constantly getting inspired and writing things down and learning things and researching. And it's all a part of what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's how the darkness is brought to the light, is people like me who are obeying basically that inner part of me that is God communicating with me and listening to it, and I'm being blessed for it. So how is the darkness coming to light? By people who feel called upon to do so. By proclaiming truth, as ugly and as uncomfortable as it might be. And it's not negative. It's not negative to proclaim truth. Even if it's uncomfortable and ugly, it's not bad. It's not negative. What's negative and bad is when we bury our heads and live in some false reality, some illusion that's not real. That's not really choice. That's not really agency when we do that. So by proclaiming truth, all truth about everything, there's so many ways that we are and have been deceived as human beings since the beginning of time, I'm sure. But, a lot of stuff I've researched has been really, really going hard since like early 1900s, maybe 1800s. I'm just thinking Rockefeller type stuff. So what's my motive? Everyone says someone's got an agenda. You got an agenda. Yeah, I guess I do. My agenda is to help people, is to help my friends, help my family, help educate them, help wake them up. This affects you. This affects every single one of us. And I'm not saying y'all have to speak out and be public about it. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just asking you to consider the things that I share. So yeah, my only motive is to help people. That's honestly it. Am I getting money for it? Nope. If anything, I have lost financial, resources. But I live prudently. I live in a small-ish regular house that's old that we've just been taking care of and renovating on our own. Anyway, so I am not gaining anything. If anything, I guess the only thing I've gained is just knowing that I'm helping people, knowing that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, knowing that I'm doing the right thing. That's it. That's pretty much all I'm gaining. So my agenda is to help wake up people to all truth, and to help save babies and people, their physical lives too, but also their spiritual, mental lives. And in the society that we're living in now, guys, and this is why I've been crying so much, is everyone's just, no, I shouldn't say everyone. There's so much backwards thinking. If every single family isolated themselves, we're not even considering the very real and very researched ramifications of social isolation, of depression, of anxiety, of homelessness, of losing your career, losing your business, losing your house, losing your money. We're forgetting. Why are people forgetting about that? Those are lives too. That can very well lead to death as well. But here's the thing. if the healthy and the robust and the capable people like me who are super healthy and strong and capable and able, if we're not the ones helping the people that are at risk right now, then who's going to help them? Like, who's going to do the shopping for them? Who's going to do, who's going to keep the economy going? Who's going to do that? Like, somebody has to do that, right? Like, I just trying to wrap my brain around where the logic has gone in our world. And another thought I had is absolutely in today's world, this thing I'm on right now, I'm broadcasting to whomever wants to hear me, the entire world, if it be that. Um, and I have the entire world, the entire library of information at my fingertips for the most part. All of it if I want to pay for subscriptions to things and stuff. But in today's world, being blind to the truth is absolutely a choice. 100%. I don't care what career you're in. I don't care what job you're in. I don't care what. Of course, if you're in a stage of life where you're so busy with your job, babies, whatever, I totally get that. We all have our different phases of life. And again, we all have our own callings that are different, and it's beautiful, it's unique, it's the way God intended it for it to be. But in today's world, if you're blind and not understanding the truth of things that pertain to you that you should probably know about, for example, when you're going to make your baby get injected with something, shouldn't you know everything you should know about that? Anyway, so I'm thinking at this time, a lot of people probably have extra time, just a little bit. I don't feel like I do, but and if you have that extra time, this is a great time. This is a great time to stop being blind to some things. Pick one topic and study it. Something that would be very basic and simple would be like fluoride. Just start studying fluoride, and when that got in the limelight, whew, that's a fun rabbit hole. It's a simple one. It's an easy one. What else? GMOs. Like, there's so much. If you want my list of rabbit holes, message me. I'll let you know. I guess I'm a little bit nervous to share every single rabbit hole I've gone down. I made a list about a week ago, and it's about 40 things long. Some things I've researched very in depth, and some things I haven't as much. I just know enough. I know enough to know. So why not? Why not just start researching a little bit here, a little bit there? I mean, we researched, the cars we're going to buy, the car seats we're going to buy. It's not all about cars. The food that we eat. I know a lot of us do that. So why not just keep that research going? There's no excuse in this day and age, unless, time is the only excuse. Because when we don't know the truth about things, we're absolutely choosing to be a pawn. Whoever's manipulating us, whoever's controlling us via the media, we're absolutely a pawn, and we're choosing to be a pawn. And when you choose to be a pawn and you don't know the truth, I'm reading from my notes, that's exactly what we are. Let's see. Choosing. Okay. Anyway, my point was, you're in a cage. When you're not understanding and not knowing the truth about things that are important to you, that matter to you, you're just sort of trusting whomever, the authority of X, Y, or Z, then you're absolutely in your self-made prison. And is that really? Do you really have free agency? Do you really have free will? In that instance, when you're just trusting what the authority is saying and doing as you're told, and being manipulated at every turn of your life, turn off the TV. I have no fear. I have absolutely no fear right now. I am so alive. I'm so alive with joy and with positivity and with happiness. And the only thing that gets me down is people that I'm disappointed in, from the way they're acting and talking right now. And that's my choice. It's my choice to be sad about that. But for the most part, I am really excited. There's nothing to be afraid of. Your life is yours. It's still in your hands. whatever happens to your life, I mean, just enjoy every moment of it. We're all going to die at some point. Death is a part of life. We can't erase death. It's not going to happen. And we shouldn't try to. It's ridiculous. We're all living in this state of fear and panic. I shouldn't say we're all, but so many of us. And it's really, man, I just have to think, if I was the creator looking down on my creations, and how they're giving in to this emotion that's not from him. They're just giving up their agency, really, and giving their agency, not giving it up, but willingly giving it to authority. I don't think he'd be proud of us. I don't think he'd be happy about what we're doing. So yeah, fluoride, GMOs, rabbit holes. Let me know if you want my list. This isn't sad. It's not sad to go down these rabbit holes. It might be shocking. And yeah, it might be sad for a little while, but knowledge really is power. It really is. Then when you have the power, you have the knowledge, then you're making real choice. That's real agency. When you have the information, the research in front of you to actually be able to make real, actual, personal decisions in your life. You can't really do that if you're being manipulated around every turn. You might think you are, like I thought I was. And you gotta know that the majority of my life, up until a couple of years ago, I was the most obedient. I don't know if I'd call myself a blind follower, but I was so obedient. I didn't question anything, really. And the more you study, the more I've studied the origins of my religion, the more I'm like, absolutely, there's no question in my mind that that God wants us to question everything. Because really, who are you choosing to trust right now? If you're living in fear, you're not trusting God. I'm going to say that again. If you're living in fear, you're not trusting God. And when I say you, I'm not like this. I'm talking to myself too. I make mistakes. I get fearful too. Not about this, but about other things. When you're living in fear, you're not trusting God. That's all there is to it. So are you choosing right now to trust the world and put your trust in the arm of flesh? Or are you trusting in God? Are you really, really putting your trust in God right now? God wants us to question everything. There's no doubt in my mind. Again, in my faith, we are taught to do that. We are not taught to blindly obey. That's not a principle of God. God absolutely wants us to come to him in prayer and supplication, to ask if what we are hearing from whatever human is proclaiming things. Little plug this weekend, LDS General Conference. I'm really excited about it, because I do have faith in these men. Do I trust 100% anybody besides God? I'm going to say no to that. I might shock a few people by saying that. But the only way I'm going to trust a human being is if I feel that God is telling me to do that. It all comes down to that. And we all know that. I think anybody who delves down inside their heart, inside their real soul, understands that. The whole point of being on this earth is to choose, is to make our own choices. God does not want us to be little puppets, cookie cutter robots doing as we're told. It so offends him if that's the case, if that's what's happening. So I'm going to sum up this video. Just truth, guys. Truth is so important. Who knows if this Q stuff is going to happen? I've studied it some. I don't know. I don't think, a lot of people say, I don't trust anybody but God. I'm not going to trust Q. And I don't think that's really the message to the Q stuff. I think it's really just to question everything. I think that's the main message, is to question everything, which I like. So we'll see. Maybe I'll post this tonight. I'm trying to decide. I'm doing this to only me right now because I don't know. And I'm looking at the time. It's long. Doubt anyone will watch it. But my message is just care about truth. Find it yourself. You can't trust anybody else but this inside of here. This is you and your connection with God. You and God as a partner. That's who you trust. That's the only way you can be validated. That's why I said in a post this week, spiritual discernment is going to be probably more valuable than anything, even than food and water, physical sustenance. Your ability to be able to discern truth, because who can you trust? Like, who can you trust nowadays? That list in my world is, I can't even put it on my one hand. And it's not that I don't trust individuals in my life. It's that I don't blindly trust them. And I rely on this, me and God. And he tells me whether or not to trust. So, yeah, question everything. And my message is question everything, research, please meditate and pray and pray and pray. And maybe just simply express gratitude. And that's it. Just express gratitude and just go down a huge list of things you're grateful for. We need to raise the positivity. We need to raise the vibration in our world right now. We are definitely going down Satan's path with all this fear. We just are. Don't choose that. It's a choice. Everything is a choice. The world is telling you that you're a victim and personal responsibility, it doesn't matter. That's just wrong. Personal choice, personal responsibility, taking care of yourself in as many ways as you possibly can. That's everything. It's just so important. Anyways, I just felt so compelled to make a video and explain the things I've been feeling lately. I'm glad I'm doing it and not bawling, because that was last night. You wouldn't have been able to hear me. If you want that message, or message me if you want the list of rabbit holes I've been going down, and you can decide for yourself if they're true to you and if it's something that concerns you. If it's not, that's fine. I couldn't care less what you choose. I mean, I do, because I love you and I care about you. But if you have a different opinion about things and choose to do something differently than what I would recommend, I don't care. That's your life. That's your choice. Just know that I love you and I care about you, and I beg and plead with all of us to please pray, meditate, bring up the positivity, erase that fear. I'll help you. I'll give you a free session even if you want. Anyway, okay. Have a great evening. Let me know if you have any good prank ideas. I want to do something fun for April Fool's Day. Have a great evening, and peace and love, y'all.